Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with another layout for the Paige Evans design team, and our theme this week is winter. And so I went through several of the papers that I had in my mind for the color scheme that I wanted to use for this. I wanted to go a little bit different than what I normally do. I wanted to mix in some grays and some navy blues, and I love these two papers here that have some navy and silver gray mixed in. Some of this slate bluish gray color and some mint. I usually use a lot of pinks and yellows and aquas, but I thought I would try something different and kind of create a wintry feel. And so that's what I'm going to do. And the picture that I'm going to be using is of me and my husband. This was from our honeymoon back in March of 2000. We went to Lake Tahoe. And I totally forgot I had these. I scrapped another one for another assignment last week, and so I remembered I had a couple more of us in the snow, and so I thought that would be a good photo to scrap for winter. So this is one of Paige's cut files. It's called Snowflake Border, and I used some papers from Fancy Free and Turn the Page here, and I kind of just start playing around. I don't even have a background yet, but I started to arrange all of these snowflakes down, and I just looked at it and realized it was missing something. So I decided to add some pink, and I went through my papers and picked out another paper from Turn the Page and then a paper from Oh My Heart. And so I just kind of did some mixing and matching, and I really like how that looks. I think the pink really gave it a nice pop of something bright because all the other colors were so subdued and neutral, and I think the pink really helped it. So I'm going to use white cardstock as my background here, and I wanted to do some mixed media, and I'm using some of my shimmers in a pink shade here that kind of matches the pinks that I've got going on in those snowflakes. A couple different shades of pink here. I've got a lighter one, a darker one. The darker one is one of the newer ones. It's called Pink Moscato, and I love how that mixes with the other one. It's called Cotton Candy, and they're the perfect mixes, and I'm just kind of adding some color to the background here. A lot of this is going to be in the background of all those snowflakes. You're going to be able to see it peeking through all of the open spots and around the white space of the snowflakes. And I'm going to situate the photo right in the middle and just kind of make it look like there's snowflakes falling all around the picture. The snow wasn't actually falling in this picture. It was already on the ground, but it was still snow. And for a Florida girl, it was pretty cool to see. And so, yeah, when I think of snow, you got to have some snowflakes on there, right? Anyway, I like how that looks. So I put it all on there, take it all off, and then I realized that the pink is just a little too pink. So I just soften it up a little bit with some white gesso, and I just smudge that right on top of it. And it just kind of lightens up that darker pink so it's not so bold. Now this color here is really, really light, and it winds up being too light. It's called Refreshment, and it's a light mint color, and it's very pretty. It's just very light. So I'm going to add a little bit of aqua to this just to darken it up a little bit. And like most mixed media backgrounds, well, for me anyway, you know, stuff is going to get put on top of it. And so it's going to get covered up a little bit. And I know this going into it. And so I try to, you know, get enough of the background covered. And so when you do add everything back on top of it, you can still see plenty of the background. But with so many little bits and pieces of the snowflakes, I want to make sure I've got a lot of background covered. So it's still visible through that. This is Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. I'm just adding a little bit here and there using my brush to kind of smudge it around. I made the executive decision that I wanted to use gold and silver together, or gold and gray, which I guess, you know, sometimes it's silverish. But yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I know a lot of times we use either or, but on this page, I'm gonna go with both. And I like how it turns out. I love the pop of that gold shine on there. I just think it's a pretty color scheme. Because in my snowflakes, I've got several, well not several, but a couple of different gray shades. Because, you know, when you think of winter, I think of gray. I think of cold, and I don't really think of gold, but I don't know. I just felt like adding it to this page. And it's not a lot, but I like the pop of shine that it gives. So I'm going to go back and add all of these snowflakes back on there. And I made some big and some small, and just trying to get the colors and the sizes kind of mixed and matched and overlapped. And this is definitely going to be a vertical design here. So I don't want to move this again. So I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of glue to each snowflake so nothing is going to move. So that's all stuck down. And I thought, you know, I wanted to add some, quote, snow to my background. So all I'm doing here is taking some white acrylic paint, watering it down, and then using my brush to splatter it. And I don't have a white ink spray that doesn't soak right into the page, and so I just use white acrylic paint. And you know, sometimes you can see it, and this is a busy background, and so you can see it a little bit, but it's not really visible. Now this paper here is from Take Me Away, and I wanted to use these pieces here as sort of layers behind the picture, and these colors were a perfect match. And I really love when you can take 4 different collections and find pieces from them that all coordinate together, and it works out really nicely here. Now I don't want to go too crazy with embellishments because I've already got all those snowflakes and they're pretty busy. So I'm going to use that circle that's kind of glaring in the light there, but it's from the Take Me Away chipboard sheet. It says heck yes, because we were excited to see snow. And then this is Paige's 30-page sticker book. I'm going to use a couple things from there. And it's got some things from Turn the Page and Oh My Heart. And this is a vellum type of sticker. You can kind of see through it. A little speech bubble. It says live in the moment. And I really wanted to use it, but I wanted it to be a little less see-through because of all the busyness going on. So I just stuck it to another sheet of vellum and thickened it up a little bit. This doesn't work really well here. You know me and my thread, I wanted to add some, and I went with white because I thought of snow, but you can't really see it. There's just too much texture already going on the background. I'll leave it there for now, but you really can't even see it, but I do use it. Now this paper is from Oh My Heart, and I thought I wanted a little bit more white. So I'm going to cut out a little chunk of this scalloped border here, and I'm going to stick that under the picture just for a small little detail of white. And I like how that looks. Yeah, I had all of her collections just strung out all over my room, going through everything and trying to mix and match everything, and then you should have seen the mess when I had to put it back up. This is the sticker book from Turn the Page, and here's where I decided to add in a little more gold, because if you've got any of Paige's collections, then you know that there's plenty of gold foiled pieces. So this one says, here's to new adventures, and I'm going to just fussy cut it out. I stuck it to vellum again to make it a little more visible and more like an embellishment. And it's going to go at the top, but as you can see, it's kind of hard to read it because, again, those snowflakes are so busy. So I take that white thread and use it sort of behind it, and you can see it better when the light's not shining on it, but it kind of helped whiten out the area behind it. And yeah, so I'm gonna layer the heck yes circle on top of a snowflake and put that right on top of the picture. And here's another clear gold foil sticker from Turn the Page, and it says bring it on. I'm going to use that, and I struggle with where to put this live in the moment. I do wind up using it, but I wasn't sure where it was going to go. And then here's where I use another cut file. I had to have the word snow on here somewhere, and this is another cut file from Paige. It is she has 2 fonts in the Silhouette store, and this one's called Paige font, and I love it because it looks like the letters were empty and then it snowed on them, and then the bottom half of the letters are filled up with snow. That's what it reminds me of. And so I just printed these on white cardstock, or not printed them, but cut them on white cardstock, and I'm going to stick them to vellum and cut them out again because I didn't want the open spaces to be completely see-through because it's kind of busy with the background, and so there it kind of looks a little bit better. You can see it a lot better. I do add a little bit of mint colored thread over to the right and the left, and you can see the mint thread a little bit better than the white. And I love how this turns out. It's definitely a different color scheme for me, and it was fun to, you know, I don't really create a lot of winter pages. I think this December has been, yeah, I dropped the picture. Go me. Fail. Yeah, this month I've created more Christmas and winter pages than I ever have in my entire life, I think. And so it was fun to break out of my summer brain because I'm all about summertime layouts. And so it was a fun challenge to make, you know, pages with completely different color schemes and different sayings, and just the photos themselves were different, because they're more like this than bright and sunny with a lot of pool water in the background. So I'm going to cut some tiny little bits of adhesive foam here and pop up the word snow, so it's a little bit dimensional. Because the background is so bumpy and textured with all those snowflakes, there's no way that those letters would have just looked good completely flat. And so popping them up gives them a little bit of dimension. And then I wanted to add this little pink heart somewhere on the picture, but I just couldn't make it work. So it's going to come back later. I decided to come in with these little tiny dark navy blue alpha stickers. And this is from the Turn the Page sticker book. And I'm going to add in the above snow. So technically, I guess I have a really long title. Here's to new adventures in the snow, or it could just be in the snow. But I like that little pop of navy blue that it gives, because our jackets are a navy blue color, and then I have some navy blue going on in the snowflakes. And here's where I'm going to stick the Live in the Moment sticker, just right underneath snow. And then that little pink heart. I only use the one heart. You know, I usually try to scatter things around and do the rule of thirds. And then sometimes I just throw those rules out the window and just do whatever I want and whatever feels right at the moment. And that's that. And so I'm going to use one little heart. And then I'm going to use a couple of these little phrase stickers. These are actually meant for planners or calendars, but they're great for this kind of layout. I got crazy and almost stitched on all the snowflakes, but then I said, no, that's not going to happen. So I just did a couple, and I used gold. Did I use gold or silver? I think I used silver on a couple of the snowflakes, but not on all of them, mostly the big ones. And I like how that gives a little bit more detail. And I'm going to use my gold pen to write a little bit of journaling over here to the right. And I think I'm going to wrap this up. Yep. That's the final layout. I love how this turned out. It was a lot of fun. I love mixing and matching all these different colors and all these different pieces from different collections. And it was fun to make a layout about snow. There you can see the white splatters and how that looks. And that's just white acrylic paint. I had someone ask me before, just plain old white acrylic paint, watered down, splatter it with your brush. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or techniques. This was a lot of fun to put together, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Hope you have a great weekend.